Okay, let me shift to Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. So the New Orleans Saints obviously lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30-20 in the divisional round of the 2021 NFL playoffs. And look, Drew Brees played bad in this game. The story of this game was the Buccaneers defense and how pedestrian they made Drew Brees look in this matchup. You know, Drew Brees was 19 for 34 in this game. He threw for a whopping 134 yards, only had one touchdown pass. He threw 3 interceptions in this game. And Drew Brees was a big reason why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won this game, just because he was not good enough in this game. Tom Brady outplayed him, and Tom Brady didn't even play all that great of a game. Tom Brady just didn't make mistakes, and he was accurate in the red zone when he needed to be. You know, Brady wasn't great, but Drew Brees was all-time bad. He was horrible in this matchup versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. And look, it's very clear to me that Drew Brees is not the same quarterback that he once was. He just isn't. He clearly is not the same guy. This year, Drew Brees has had to deal with some injuries. You know, he's obviously 42 years old. He's a 42-year-old quarterback. So, look, I can only crucify Drew Brees so much just because even at the start of the season, I said I don't know if Drew Brees is quite a top 10 quarterback anymore. I don't think that he's as good as he once was. He just doesn't quite have the same arm strength, doesn't move around the way he used to. He just, in reality, an old quarterback that is over the hill. But the sad part about this is Drew Brees blew, in my opinion, his very last and final opportunity to win a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints for a second time. Obviously, Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl, but he's only got one Super Bowl. You know, we look at guys like Nick Foles, Joe Flacco, Trent Dilfer. They've won one Super Bowl. So you would think that a Hall of Fame quarterback like Drew Brees, that is as talented as he is, would find a way to get not just one Super Bowl, but maybe an extra Super Bowl. You know, Ben Roethlisberger has gotten 2 Super Bowls. He's won 2 Super Bowls. Eli Manning has won 2 Super Bowls. Drew Brees only has one great playoff run throughout his career. Okay, so look, I'm not trying to knock Drew Brees today. It's obviously a day that's pretty sad for me, honestly, because Drew Brees, he's just not quite the same quarterback, you know. And like I said, he blew his final opportunity to win a second Super Bowl in New Orleans. And to me, this is somewhat a knock on Drew Brees' legacy, just from this standpoint, you know, because there was a stretch in the middle of Drew Brees' career where his defenses were just god-awful. They were awful. The rosters were no good. The Saints had no shot to win a Super Bowl. But Mickey Loomis, the Saints general manager, since taking over in New Orleans, has done a great job of giving Drew Brees a great roster to try to win a second Super Bowl. Over the past 4 years, you can make the argument that the New Orleans Saints have had the best roster in the entire NFL. You look at their running backs, their wide receivers, their offensive line, their defense, Sean Payton being the great play caller that he is. You would think that at some point, the New Orleans Saints would find a way to at least get to another Super Bowl in the Drew Brees era. And ultimately, Drew Brees' time in New Orleans, really in the grand scheme of things, for the most part, is probably going to be remembered for only one great playoff run. Just one great playoff run in which he beat Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts in the Super Bowl. And ultimately, it's kind of a knock on Drew Brees' legacy because, like I said, early in Drew Brees' career, he did not have the rosters to consistently win Super Bowls. But in the later stages of his career, and Drew Brees was still playing good football up until this year, okay? So it's not like Drew Brees has been a washed-up, terrible quarterback for the past 4 to 5 seasons. At some point, you would think that Drew Brees would put up or shut up and find a way to win a second Super Bowl. He just has not accomplished that. So ultimately, I don't think Drew Brees is a top 5 quarterback of all time. I think he's close. I think that he's right there. To me, the top 5 quarterbacks in no order would be Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, John Elway, and Aaron Rodgers. They've all won MVPs. Outside of Aaron Rodgers, all of them have been to multiple Super Bowls. But the one thing I can say about Aaron Rodgers is he's won 3 MVPs. Drew Brees has won 0 MVPs. Aaron Rodgers, throughout his prime, virtually never missed the playoffs. Drew Brees, throughout his career, has missed the playoffs 9 times. And ultimately, it's just one of those things where Aaron Rodgers was better at carrying lesser rosters and more flawed rosters than Drew Brees, So, unfortunately, Drew Brees it's a sad day in regards to us celebrating his legacy, because I was pulling for him to potentially get to a second Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. And ultimately, Drew Brees blew his last and final opportunity to win a Super Bowl in New Orleans just because I don't think Drew Brees is going to return to the game of football after this year. I very well could see Drew Brees retiring after this year. I think that he kind of realizes this Saints roster is not going to get any better. This is probably as good as the roster is going to get. And unfortunately, he fell short. So that's the harsh reality about Drew Brees and the Saints. And ultimately, I feel bad for Drew Brees that he ultimately could not cash in on another opportunity to win a second Super Bowl with Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints. It's a sad day if you're a Drew Brees fan. No doubt about it. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.